It is an honor and a privilege to be speaking here today. I would like to thank everyone in attendance, especially the men and women whose lives are dedicated to the profession of law enforcement and to their families. They too make a sacrifice every day as they tend to the issues at home while their loved ones patrol our neighborhoods, streets, and highways. This is an especially important memorial as just 7 weeks ago, Officer Andy Dunn lost his life protecting those in this very city. Andy, following in the footsteps of his father Matt, wanted nothing more than to be a police officer and make a difference. Andy's memory, just like the memory of those inscribed on this monument before us, will never be forgotten. In making this ultimate sacrifice, Andy left behind a loving family, friends who shared his passion for law enforcement, and a fellowship of officers who honor his memory today. To Julie and all of Andy's family, I know that no words can ease your pain, but I want you to know that you are surrounded by people who care about you and blanketed with the prayers of a grateful community. Today, as we remember those who gave their lives protecting all of us, those who stand ready on that thin blue line between the law-abiding and those who would do us harm, the brave men and women who every day put on the badge, kiss their spouse and children goodbye, and walk out the door, all the while knowing that they might be called upon that day to step between good and evil in order to keep their fellow citizens safe and secure. The men and women who wear the uniform and those who love them are a beacon of light in a sometimes dark world. Today, we not only honor Andy, but we honor the 4 additional officers in the state of Ohio who have lost their lives this year in the line of duty. We honor the 66 officers throughout the United States of America who stood fast on the thin blue line so that we would be secure in our homes, safe in our travels, and enjoy the freedoms we sometimes take for granted. These brave men and women will live in our hearts forever as examples of the best that law enforcement has to offer. Every officer here will tell you the same thing. If you ask them why they do what they do, how can they continue knowing how dangerous the world is becoming? It's not for the money. It's a duty, a calling, a duty to keep everyone safe, to keep our community safe, to end senseless acts of violence that bring fear to each and every one of us, to someday know that our children will not have to be afraid to walk down their own streets at night. The commitment and courage of these brave men and women who protect us every day is tremendous. Honor and duty are highest among their values. We live in a world of ever-present danger, a world that has put greater demands on our police officers, a world where more and more officers will be called upon to risk their lives so that we remain safe. We send our police officers into the streets with all the tools we can provide and all the training we can give. We all have a stake in the success of our police force, but it is the officers who face the danger. Yet they go forward, knowing the risk, knowing the cost, and knowing that it must be done. These brave men and women live each day not for themselves, but for others. I had the privilege to attend the National Police Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. last year. I will always remember the saying that is etched on the wall at the memorial that reads, "It is not how these officers died that made them heroes, but how they lived." Memorials such as this one and the National Memorial will help keep the legacy of these officers alive for all current and future law enforcement officers to follow. Their memories and ultimate sacrifice will never be forgotten. In closing, I'd like to quote the Reverend Mark Pruden, who is a chaplain with the Cincinnati Police Department. Reverend Pruden said, "Killing a cop changes things. Killing a cop fractures the very foundation upon which our society is built and rips apart the very basic fabric from which our society is made. Killing a cop doesn't just break the law. Killing a cop demonstrates the epitome of contempt for the God who created the world and the laws he provided." Thank you for your attendance here today. Thank you to the community for your continued support of law enforcement. Thank you to the families and friends for the love and prayers you give to our brothers and sisters in blue. And thank you to all the brave men and women who protect us every day. Be forever brave and strong. Be ready to protect the wall between violence and peace. Be safe, and God bless.